Hi, my name is Bevan. I am one of the suicide crisis workers for Harmless and the Tomorrow Project, and I'm also the research lead of Harmless and TP. Yeah, I guess I've just made this because I know Harmless this week, our topic is on working from home, and obviously a large part of my role is working from home now, so with the research end of it. So I guess I just thought I'd share my experiences and what I think of it and what I think the benefits and also some of the drawbacks have been. Um, so, in terms of drawbacks, I'll start with those. I guess for me, I share a flat with other people. So, all the work that I do is in my room, is in my bedroom. That's where I'm at. I'm sitting on the floor now of my bedroom. And that's in some ways kind of comfy. You kind of wake up 10 minutes before you're due to start working and you're kind of already at work, which is great. But also it does present some separation issues. So something that I've usually used to, I guess, clear my head or decompress after a day of work was a journey home. And more recently, right before everything sort of went into lockdown, I would start to walk home or at least walk halfway home. And that was really, really something that I used to, I guess, do that decompression. Now, obviously, I can still do that when I want to. I can still go out for my once a day socially distance exercise. But it's not kind of the same. You kind of come back and your room is full of post-it notes and sheets of paper all over the wall. And they're all work related. So you're kind of coming back into your office, if you will, even though that was up until now your living space. And that's another thing. I'm quite verbal, which hopefully my colleagues don't get too annoyed about. I like to think about something and then run it by other people. I like to think of a hypothesis or a reason why something happens, and then I'd be like, so what do you guys think of this? Do you think this is, has any merit, has any validity? And usually I'd maybe just get a really quick round of opinions from people in the room, which I can understand can be a little bit frustrating at times. But that's kind of just how I work. I like to think out loud. I like to run the validity of my thoughts by other people to see if it's logical, rational, makes sense to other people. And if not, if it's completely off base, then I know there's maybe something off with my thinking, that sort of thing. So I guess the only equivalent I have of that now is talking to myself. So I would often pace around my room, just chatting at myself, that sort of thing, which I don't think is a bad thing, but it kind of lacks that interaction. In terms of the benefits, I guess there is a little bit. I guess it's both a drawback and a benefit. I've kind of slowed down in terms of my role, I guess. Something I feel, it might be just a personal thing, I don't know if it's something that a lot of people feel. My own personal sort of feelings around work is productivity. You must produce, you must be busy, you must be, there must be outcomes, there must be this, that, and of course there should be. That's how you measure a lot of things and how work is done. But I guess it's the pre-stages of that I often struggle with, the sort of thinking, the sitting down, taking a certain amount of time where you kind of are just thinking and thinking, right, is this valid? Is this something we can do? Is this a project we're taking on? Is this viable? And in the first maybe week and a half of working from home, that's something I really struggled with because suddenly I wasn't surrounded by colleagues, I wasn't surrounded by people I could, bounce all this stuff off. I was left with the computer and my thoughts and a few tasks that I had to do. And for the rest of the day, I was like, okay, so this is where I would usually fall back on the practical work that I would do and sort of do things and feel like I'm doing something and sort of, yeah. So I guess the option isn't there at home, which, as I say, is both a drawback and a benefit. It's an uncomfortable feeling. It gives me a little bit of discomfort thinking, because I feel I have this feeling it's not productive. It's not producing anything immediately, although it will. And I guess it's more, in some ways, I guess it's developing my longer term vision of what I want the outcome of my thinking to be, or Harmless thinking, or Harmless's goals, objectives, that sort of thing, in terms of research in particular. And that's something I will say that I've maybe missed out on, because I have that need to kind of have this really go, let's do something, let's show something. So it's those, I guess, again, benefit and drawback. Drawback is the discomfort, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think discomfort is often a sign, a good sign, something that can be good. And it's giving me that time to think, and actually come up with robust, valid sort of reasonings, I guess, for what I want to do. But yeah, it's overall I think it's been an okay experience, minus the actual seriousness of what's happening outside of lockdown and the reason for lockdown in terms of coronavirus and all that sort of stuff. But the actual experience of working from home itself, I think I've managed to start to get into the swing of it. Now, not everyone has to, and I guess it is something that will depend on your job, your role, your outcomes, whatever the objectives of your job is. But for me, it did have that teething period of discomfort, and I'm feeling as busy as I used to, and if I'm not busy, then I'm not productive. If I'm not productive, then I'm not useful. So that usefulness, I guess, is maybe the core of it. I wasn't feeling useful in some ways. But yeah, hopefully that I'm not sure if that experience will be representative of anyone else's. That's just purely my experience so far. It may change. Maybe over the next week I'll have a burst of energy. Who knows? Thinking energy. But yeah, I guess I'll leave it there. And I hopefully it's if anyone is feeling bad or anything about working from home, that's my experience, and maybe it relates to someone else. And if you're enjoying it, fantastic. I mean, fantastic. That's wonderful as well. But yeah, I'll leave it there. I should mention as well, if you've managed to get to the end of this, I know it's coming up to 7 minutes now, the crisis pathway on the Tomorrow Project is still open and receiving referrals. So if you are struggling with suicidal thoughts in Nottinghamshire, or feel at risk of suicide in some way, give us a call, 0115 880 0282, or send us an email on crisis@tomorrowproject.org.uk. It's great. Cheers, and thank you so much for all of your support for Harmless and TP as well. It's great. Bye-bye.